thank you for that. As of the first of this year, I had no intention, was not even on my radar screen to run for office. I'm what you call one of those untraditional people running for office. I'm not a politician. I'm a teacher, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother. And I am so moved to this based on what I've been seeing, frankly, over the 16 years I've lived in Indiana, but more specifically what I've seen in the last year on both sides. I want to tell you a little bit about my background, since I do know a lot of you. A couple things I want to mention. Then I want to tell you what moved me to make this decision, and also want to tell you what I stand for and what I would plan to do if elected. First of all, I want to tell you that I am rural. I have lived in this part of northern Appalachia my entire life. A good part of it was the other side of the New York State border, just on the other edge of the 15th District. I've been in Indiana for 16 years. I went to college because my dad, in 1973, was able to create a small business to put my sisters and I through school. Something you could do then, but you cannot do today in a rural area. After college, I worked for 20 years in human services because I believe in service and I believe in giving back. I ran a group home. For troubled boys. I worked as a drug and alcohol counselor, outpatient and inpatient treatment for 5 years. And I also worked with families who were at risk of losing their kids. And the things that I learned from that was that the kind of problems that we experience aren't about people who don't care, but it's about people who are doing their best and the conditions are getting the best of them. Particularly the biggest one is poverty. I was moved because of this to go back to school and see what I might be able to do. I got myself a PhD in policy analysis from Cornell University when I was 40 years old. The research that I did there was about creating policy for rural areas that made more sense and put things under local control. I directed a project with local government in 4 counties that also involved providers and involved families. We designed a better system of managing the money. We took it to our state capitol and we got legislation passed to give that design. We also received an award from the governor's office for leadership and innovation for health care for rural areas. I know that it can be done because I've done it. I went into teaching after that, and I've been working with many of you as colleagues. I've been also educating the kids for the people in this region for the last 16 years. I teach social problems, social policy, among others. I've been telling my students, though, that things don't change unless people at the grassroots level get out and know what's going on, run for office. And for a long time, I've been telling them that if not you, then who? And what I realized this past year, if not me, then who? I've been watching what's been happening in this area as the tension in Congress has been on protecting the interests of big business and eroding what is happening in the rural areas. Over 30 years, our labor unions are being broken. They made an attempt this last year to break the APSCUF union that I'm a member of. Yes, boo. Yes. I've seen unemployment going up. I've seen poverty increasing. And I've also seen our grown children leaving the area to find jobs that pay a living wage. It's destroying our communities, it's destroying our families, it's destroying our way of life. And I've been watching while Congress is supporting those actions and not taking care of the people that live in this district. So I decided I needed to take responsibility and step forward and offer myself for service. The ideas that I have about what could be done, these are not problems that can't be fixed. There are specific concrete things that we could do that will make a difference in this region. The very first one would be to get broadband access throughout the entire rural area. It's not here because it doesn't benefit and doesn't make a profit for the corporations. It should be considered a public utility, and if it's not, then the government should at least subsidize it. We need broadband access. We also need regulations that support the development of small business, locally owned, controlled businesses for a robust economy locally. One of the best opportunities we have for that is renewable energy. We have regulations, though, that are getting in the way of that. That needs to be addressed. They've been talking about infrastructure development for the past few years, but it's not being done. It absolutely needs to be a priority for this region. So I support infrastructure development as well. I also am a supporter of the development of agricultural cooperatives for developing agricultural rural economy. I'm a member of the local food cooperative and continue to work for those kinds of practices. And then finally, I'm deeply troubled as a former addictions counselor. I'm deeply troubled as an addictions counselor by the prevalence of this devastating opioid epidemic, and feel strongly that we need a two-pronged attack with it. We need to be significantly expanding the opportunities for treatment for the individuals and also support for their families. And we also have to be going after aggressively the pharmaceutical companies that are making their profits on the lives of our people.
Yes.
I am strongly grateful for the support and the enthusiasm that I hear in you all. I'm excited to be running for the 15th, and I believe that progressive democratic values in this rural district can make a difference. So I am progressive, I am a Democrat, and I am running in the 15th district.